but we're also going to look at how to use the calculator to solve them. So we have 18, 34, and 40 from the benchmark. So you'll look at those to see how you did on that. And we are going to look at some example problems in the packet for today. So let's look at number one. Number one is a free response. It's not multiple choice, but it asks, what is the solution to this equation? The variable is q. But to find the solution, you're finding what x equals or what q equals. So one way to do this is to solve it by hand. So we did this back in August. It's been a while. I'm going to change this from q to x. I'm going to rewrite it and solve it. So before we go to the calculator trick, we'll solve it by hand. We can review that in case you're working on your test and you forget the calculator trick. You want to be able to always go back to what we've learned before. Draw your line down your equal sign. And we want to simplify both sides. We're going to distribute. So 4x, 4 times 56.5. So 226. The right side doesn't have any kind of distribution or anything like that. And the next step would be to get all your x's on one side. You want to move your smaller x to the other side so that you keep positive x's if you can. Let's carry down the 226. We have 30 minus 4, 26, minus 112. The whole goal is to get it by itself. So we need to move this 112 to the other side. 338 equals 26x. And our last step would be to divide by 26. All right, so that is our answer. So it's a free response. So you'll put Q equals 13, or you might just put 13. It depends on how they word it. So that's that by hand. So see, it takes quite a bit, quite a few steps, but it works. It works every time. You just have to follow your order of operations. But let's look at the shortcut using the calculator. So it says solving quadratic and linear equations using the calculator. TEKS 5A and 8A. So quadratic is when you have an x squared, and linear is just when you have an x variable. So quadratic will have an exponent of 2, or an x times an x. The vocabulary we want to look at is solutions are also called roots, zeros, and x-intercepts. So in our journal where it says vocab to remember, we're going to write that down. Let me tell you how I want you to write it. I want you to write solutions. Oh, I need to get something darker to write. Nope. Solutions, roots, zeros, x-intercepts. They're all the same. And what they mean is where the function crosses x-axis. They all mean the same thing, and you're just looking where it crosses the x-axis. Let's look at our notes for today, our shortcut. So I'm going to teach you the shortcut. I'll put my notebook to the side. Step one, identify the type of equation. Linear equations have either no real solution or one real solution. Quadratic either have no real solution, one real solution, or two real solutions. Quadratics may be written like this. Let's say 3 and -1. This is called a solution set. I can't talk. Solution set, which means x equals 3 and x equals -1. That means you have two solutions. Mm-hmm. So step two says go to y equals in your calculator, type in the left side of the equation to y1, type the right side of the equation to y2, and you're going to find the intersection by going second, trace, 5, enter, enter, enter. You may need to zoom out. If you can't see the intersection, neither can your calculator. So we're going to do this problem by following the steps on here. So this is your calculator shortcut. So we go to y equals. So we're still doing number one. We're going to put in the left side into y1 and the right side into y2. But instead of using q, I'm going to use x. Okay, you'll put this in, and it says find the intersection. So hit graph. And what we're finding is where they intersect. But I only see one on there. So in order to see both of them, go to zoom out and push enter and it'll zoom it out. I want to be able to see both of them. I still can't see it. So I'm going to hit enter again. Because I already have it at the function where it's zooming out, if I push enter, it'll keep on. I still can't see it. I see this line and part of this line. I need to do it again. So push enter again. Okay, what you can see though is this. There's a line there and there's a line here. So you can see both of them, just not great. You can, if you want, zoom into that spot, but you don't have to. So let's follow the instructions, step 3 now. Go to second trace, which is calculate. And we're going to choose 5. 5 is intersect. What we're doing is we're finding where they're the same. And then hit enter, enter, enter. And it gives us the intersection. We don't care about the y value, we only care about the x value. So you may need to zoom out. You can either find the answer. So your answer is the x equals your answer. Where it says intersection. So write that down, intersection on your calculator. See how it says intersection right here? X is your answer. Also, what you can look at, it says if your solutions are integers, so integers are not decimals. If your solution is an integer like this one, 13, they will also show up in the table at the y value where y1 and y2 are the same. So go to the table, second table. Our answer is going to be where y1 and y2 are the same. We know that x is 13. So go till you see 13. That is our answer. Y1 and y2 are the same. So this is your calculator shortcut. Okay. So let's go ahead and do number 2. You can either clear out the memory on your calculator, or you can clear out y1 and y2. And you might have to go zoom standard or zoom fit. So let's go ahead and do this one together. Y1 and y2. Instead of using y, I'm going to use x. I want to go zoom 6 for standard, and then make sure that I can see both of them. Okay, I can see both lines, but I can't see where they intersect. It's somewhere up here. So now go to zoom out. You should be doing this with me. You should see both of those, and you want to find out where they intersect. So you'll do second trace, go to intersect, enter, enter, enter. Y equals 5. Even though it's y equals 30, we're looking for the intersection, which is going to be in the x. So don't put y equals 30. I bet you they will have that as an answer choice because they're trying to, they don't want you to do well on this. The state of Texas wants to confuse you as much as they can. So make sure that you're using the x. You can also look on the table and see where y1 and y2 are the same. So where you go to 5, you see that they're both, there you go. So it's the x value that is our solution. Okay, I want you to go ahead and do 3 and 4 now. You may need to change your multiple choice answers from radicals or fractions to identify the solution. So like on number 6, you would need to convert these into decimals. So 1/3 is 0.3 repeating. And then J is 1/5, which is 0.2. So on number 7, the difference between this and the other ones is we have a squared there. So that means we have a quadratic. So with quadratic equations that we solve, we could have one solution, two solutions, or multiple solutions. There are two different ways of doing this. One way would be to get it to have everything on one side, and you do it like y equals. So on this one, I'm just going to rewrite it. 5x squared equals 30x minus 45. What we would want to do is get all of the terms on the left side. I'm going to do minus 30x and plus 45. So that's going to cancel out. And our quadratic equation is 5x squared minus 30x plus 45 equals 0. So this is going to be y equals 5x squared minus 30x plus 45. So if we want to find the solution, that means where it crosses the x-axis. It's your x-intercept. So you go to y equals, clear out what's in there, and you're going to put this in. 5x squared minus 30x plus 45. And then you're going to hit graph, which my graphing is all zoomed in. So I'm going to go to zoom standard, which is number 6. Yep, it's a quadratic, it's a parabola. Where does it cross the x-axis? What point is that? So x equals 3 is our solution. Yes. So this is one way. You get to decide which way is best for you. Some people don't like moving things around because they get their signs mixed up. But if you don't mind moving them around, do this way. But you can do this the same way as the last one that we did, where you do y1 and y2 and find your intersection. You get to decide what the best way for you to do it is. Because remember, you're going to have to remember to do this on your own. So go ahead and put this in, y1 and y2. And we want to find the intersection. So hit graph. And it intersects here. If you try to do it without zooming out, I don't know, does it work? Second, calc, which is trace, intersection, enter. Does it work? Yeah. So it also has it at 3. And with the table, you can do the table. So this is to find your intersection on your graph. You can also look at the table. Look at 3. We have 45 and 45. So x equals 3. So I just gave you 3 different ways of finding your answer. If your answer is a decimal, though, the table way isn't going to work. So I want you to go ahead and do number 8 next. This one's already solved for 0. So you can hit y equals and put that in. Go ahead and come back and do it. 13 to 14 together. The 3 plus minus square root of 2 means you have 2 solutions. You do 3 plus square root of 2, convert it to a decimal by putting it in the calculator like this. And you have another solution where it's 3 minus square root of 2. And so you find that. So what this means is that quadratic intersects at 2 different locations. Remember, I gave you 2 ways of doing it. You can put it into y equals as, let's see, let's look at this one. You can do this 2 different ways. You can say y equals x squared minus 4x plus 1. Or you can put this into y1, this into y2, and find the intersection. But what we do need to do is convert these to decimals. So before we find the intersection, we're going to convert these. So go to your home screen, and we're going to write the answers in decimal form. So remember to get the fraction, you do alpha y equals. So we're going to do the first one, -4 plus square root of 20 over 2. And so this is x equals 0.236. And also do it with a -4 minus square root of 20 over 2. and x equals negative 4.236. So those are two answers. Go ahead and find this answer as well. 4 plus square root of 12 over 2. X equals 3.732. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to arrow up, push enter, and change this to a minus. Point 2679. Now this one. This one is negative 0.2679, and I'll arrow up, change the plus to a minus, negative 3.732. Okay, one more. 4 plus square root of 20 over 2, 4.236, and change this to minus, negative 0.236. So we have all these different answers. So we got to find the intersection and see which one is correct. So go to Y1, clear out what's in there. Let's put this in. X squared minus 4x, negative 1. You're going to have two intersections. So you want to find out what those two intersections are. So you might have to arrow left or right in the very beginning to find those. All right, so we have this location and this location. So hit second calc, go to number 5 for intersect, enter, enter, enter. So the answer is 0.2679. So look at your answer choices. No, because that says negative. This is the only one that works. One more thing though, you can do intersect again to find the other one, but arrow over to find this one. Push enter, enter, enter. And that gives you 3.732, which is right here. So G is the correct answer. You are going to finish the rest of this packet on your own. Next week, you're going to turn in this packet in the past 2 days for a test grade.